Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome back to the Fandom Frequency Show. It's the Baker's Dozen of podcasts, baby. The Fandom Frequency Show, episode 12. It's your boy, Kenny. Thank you for joining me today, tonight, tomorrow, the summer, the winter, whenever in the timeline, in the time stream, you listen to this thing. Make sure you click that download button. This is an audio-only special episode. Reason being, 9 to 5 is taking up all my damn free time. So I figured I can get this recorded, edited, and up within the same day so we don't get too delayed, man. Because we got some dope movies to talk about in the back half of the show. EEATO, a.k.a. Everything Everywhere All at Once, Michelle Yeoh's latest flick. Just hit theaters a few weeks ago, directed by the Daniels. Great stuff to talk about there, man. And don't forget about Robert Eggers' The Northman. You know what I'm saying? And this ain't no Thor and Loki MCU. We pillaging, we killing. It's all about revenge, man. So we got some cool movies to get into in the back half of the show. But with no further ado, we just gonna shoot the shit for a while, man. And just catching up with y'all on what I've been up to lately, other than the 9 to 5 boringness, man. Been having a lot of good times, a lot of good fun. With some music, man, I'm working on an album right now, man, and it's been a lot of fun getting back, writing lyrics, getting the beats together and everything like that. I'm reaching out to different artists. Y'all know who you are, and you will know who you are in the future as well, as I'm continuously reaching out to people, trying to get some jam sessions together. You know what I'm saying? We're going full instrumentation on this thing. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to be as ambitious as I can and push my creativity to the next level and just keep leveling up. You know what I'm saying? So we've just been working on that. Just been working on that, man. Been working on some cool stuff. About to hit the studio within the next week or two. For sure. So that's going to be a lot of fun, man. And sticking it in the realm of music, a lot of great stuff has been coming out and has been inspiring me as of late, whether it was recent releases in the previous decade or so, or stuff that's coming out now, man. And the stuff that's been inspiring me a lot is some really great documentaries directed by the rock legend himself, Dave Grohl, obviously the drummer from Nirvana, and more currently, and just as importantly, the lead vocalist and one of the guitarists of the Foo Fighters. The man has been killing it in the rock genre for 30 years plus now, and he recently started directing some documentaries in the previous 2010s decade, man, starting off with Sound City. And for all my fellow audio nerds out there, all my fellow, recording artists or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Anyone that's interested in the behind the scenes of the creative process of how a lot of great classic albums were put together at this studio called Sound City over there in the Van Nuys area in Los Angeles, out here in Cali, for all my, international and other state listeners. And this place was home to legends, man. They recorded Fleetwood Mac's Dreams, bro. They recorded Nirvana Nevermind, dog. Like, these guys made hit after hit and legend after legend, and recorded some indie artists that didn't necessarily get on the Nirvana levels, but were great artists in their own right, man. And like I said, it's just a legendary place where a lot of great records were made, and it's a really great documentary to give you a little bit of a peek into the process of studio recording, as well as how the legends put things together. You know what I'm saying? And just kind of demystifying the process of creating a record, of creating an album. You know what I'm saying? And the creative process of that in general. I think they really break it down in a very realistic and very tangible way. You know what I'm saying? And it was just really cool getting to see how they threw all that stuff together. And he directed a couple other docs as well. One was called From the Cradle to the Stage. I didn't watch this one yet, but I do plan on it. And that one's about him interviewing mothers of famous rock or just famous musicians in general, really. what it's like to raise a artist as a kid that becomes, a huge artist or whatever you want to call him. You know what I'm saying? So that's another interesting one he did recently as well, several years back. And then one he didn't direct but was a part of was the Foo Fighters Back and Forth documentary from like circa 2010, 2011 era, if I'm not mistaken, around the time they were recording Wasting Light. That was a really cool documentary to get to see the entire history of the Foo Fighters from 1995, where Dave Grohl was working on a demo tape and did all the instrumentation himself, Stevie Wonder style, you know what I'm saying, and called it the Foo Fighters. And he didn't even intend on it being a band, come to find out. He just wanted to create a project in the aftermath of the tragedy of losing one of his best friends in the whole wide world, Kurt Cobain, you know what I'm saying, and just trying to put the pieces back together in his life and, get back to what he loves the most. And he created some great stuff, and I still say some of the best stuff he's ever written or produced, still to this day, man. So it was really cool getting to see the Foo Fighters all the way from the OG debut album in 95 all the way up into the point where they recorded, I think right after they did In Your Honor and right before Wasting Light, if I'm not mistaken. Might have been another album in between there, but they did a really great job of just painting the lineup changes and the different trials and tribulations they went through together as a band and what they had to do to really learn to work together and stick together. And getting to see how Dave Grohl really just kept this project and kept this band together throughout these decades, man, throughout all the different, positive and negative things coming throughout, being a big band. It was really cool getting to get a peek behind the curtain and get to see these guys, put these great songs together and go out on the road and figure out their dynamics as a band and what brought them together and their histories before the Foo Fighters and what bands they were in before and what brought it all together to begin with and where it has ultimately become even bigger. They've won multiple Grammys, you know what I'm saying? Even as recently, even though they weren't in attendance, unfortunately. And we'll get more into that in a bit. But yeah, man, and another great documentary that they did back in 2014 that Dave Grohl directed was called Sonic Highways. And one of their last couple albums, or their second, wait, yeah, they made two albums after that. So the third latest album in their discography, if you will, from 2014, Sonic Highways is kind of like a soundtrack for this documentary, which is about Dave Grohl going around interviewing musicians from all the different eras of music from back in the 50s and 40s till today, you know what I'm saying? And he went to these different cities around the U.S. mostly, I think entirely, and would interview these different legends from Chicago, Nashville, Seattle, you know what I mean? All these different places and get an inside perspective on the punk scene of Seattle, of, the country scene in Nashville, and a little bit of that hip hop stuff over there in New York as well. And then getting to go to Chicago to learn about the R&B blues, you know what I'm saying? And transitioning into the punk rock and the hard rock stuff. And getting to talk to all these different legends like Buddy Richard and I might have messed his name up. Oh man. Oh shit. I hate that I can't remember this man's name right now. I gotta Google it because he's worth mentioning. This guy used to run around and play gigs with the legendary Muddy Waters, man. And this guy is so underrated. I tell you, man. Buddy Guy. Yes. That's the guy I was trying to pull the name. But yes, him. He was so damn awesome to get to interview him and get an insight into his come up and how he was overshadowed by Muddy Waters and some of his contemporaries at the time because they were just so electric that it almost just kind of took away some of the shine from him. But he never became bitter, you know what I mean? And I love that fact. And I love how he just stayed true to the music, did it because he loved it, didn't need the recognition, but eventually he did get it. So I really love that fact about the whole thing in general. And it was just a great documentary, man. So damn inspiring. It really got me to think outside the box with this album I'm working on and with everything I work on in the future as a musician, as a producer, as an artist. You know what I'm saying? The sky is the limit. Don't worry about limitations. Don't worry about expectations. Just do you, man. And where you're at in your environment, May not be the coolest in the world, but it definitely influences your music. It makes you who you are as a person and as an artist, especially. So I love that documentary. I can't recommend those documentaries enough, man. Just to get brief breakdown right now. Sonic Highways, Foo Fighters back and forth, from the cradle to the stage. And also, don't forget to check out the documentary Why We Drive or Why We Ride or something like that, about bands touring in buses and not buses, sorry, about bands touring in vans back in the day, and even a couple bands in the present. So cool stuff. I really highly recommend it. You need to tune in and don't sleep on that shit, y'all. But we do have a bit of somber news to get into a little bit here on the show, guys. Man, Foo Fighters has lost their drummer, Taylor Hawkins, at the age of, give me a second, I believe he was 52 years old, but I'm going to double check right now. But yeah, man, I was just so damn sad and bummed to hear this news about 2 months ago now. And I didn't want to, rush out and try to make a video or something for the channel about it. You know what I mean? Don't want to get all weird about it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, just wanted to, say my few words about the man, and what a hell of a legacy this guy leaves behind, man. He is definitely one of the greatest drummers of our time, hands down, and I won't take no ifs, ands, or buts about it, man. And overall, man, it's just such a bummer that he's gone, and I really wish that they could have continued on doing their thing, man, and continuing their legacy. But it's a hell of a legacy they leave behind, because he's been with the band since their second album, The Color and the oh my gosh, man, I'm just blanking on every fucking thing today. But anyways, man, yeah, he died at 50, man. He was 50. Literally. He had just turned 50. Like not even a month, like a little over a month before he passed on March 25th, dude. Like, god damn. It's just such a bummer, man. He leaves a wife behind. He leaves kids behind, and it's just a bummer to see that, man. And I know the guys in the Foo Fighters right now are just tore up about it. We ain't seen them in public since the whole thing went down. They had a dope tour plan throughout the year. They were gonna do Aftershock Fest. They were gonna perform at the Grammys, and were nominated and won. You know what I mean? So just getting to see all the fun stuff they were doing. They just released Studio 666. I haven't seen that yet, but it's high up on my priority of movies I need to check out, man. I might just rent that damn thing on Amazon or something, because I really wanted to see that. I just didn't have the time at the time. But anyway, man, it's just a bummer to see another legend gone, to see someone else's great friend gone. Dave Grohl, and both the legendary bands he's been in, has lost two of his best buds in the group, man. And it's just a bummer, man, but I just wanted to say much love to the Hawkins family, and I hope you guys are getting through this the best you can. I hope you guys have all the support you need in this difficult time, and my heart and my soul is with you guys, and I wish it didn't happen, but at the end of the day, I just hope that you guys find brighter days up ahead, and you keep him alive in your spirit, and he's always going to be with you, and he's never going to be gone, and he's always going to be with all of us, man. And much love to the Foo Fighters. My heart and soul goes out to you guys, and I just hope that all my fellow Foo Fighter fans out there, we can stick together, all my fellow rock fans, all my fellow pop culture fans, all my fellow fandom freaks, man. I hope we can all stick together and, put some love and positivity out for the Foo Fighters, the Taylor Hawkins family, and the whole community, man. Just, and just cherish those you have in your life, man. You just never know when it's going to be the last time you see them, So, but not to get too somber, but just wanted to address it since I was on the subject of the Foo Fighters, man. How, as a fan, could I not mention that? Terrible thing. But just had to get into it a little bit. But we're going to brighten the mood a little bit with some more positive news in the world of music. Moving into a different genre, though. Some hip-hop, baby. Some rap. You know what I mean? Kendrick Lamar. He's back. Yes. Finally. After forever, man. Almost 5 years since his last album, Damn, hit the shelves and hit your Apple and Spotify playlist. 2017, man. It's been a long fucking time. But Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, I believe is the name, is coming next week, March. Oh my gosh. Next week, May 13th, y'all. Next week, man. A week from Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, we're getting Kendrick Lamar's new album. I'm so fucking hyped and excited. As some of you listeners already know out there that have been with us for a while, and as all my friends and colleagues know, I'm one of the biggest Kendrick Lamar fans you're ever gonna meet. I've been listening to him, the TDE Camp, Black Hippie, all that, for literally over a decade. I've been listening to these guys since 2010. You know what I'm saying? So I have been riding and dying with this guy for years, man. It is so amazing to see the heights he has ascended to in the world of music and as an artist, man. You know what I mean? And I'm just so happy for him and so excited to see what he has been taking his time to refine and put out there for the world to hear, man. We haven't had any singles, no music videos, no nothing. And in my mind, and I'm hoping he keeps to this, don't release anything. Just drop this thing next week and let the world hear it. And maybe drop a video that day. You know what I mean? But don't drop nothing till that day, dude. Let's go back to old school shit almost, but even different. No singles, man. Just drop that shit Beyonce Lemonade style. Let's go, man. But for all you people out there, man, what are you thinking about Kendrick Lamar's new album? Are you excited? Is it way too overdue? Are you over it at this point? Is it the Avatar of music? You know what I mean? The Avatar 2 of music right now? You let me know what you think about it, man. And I would love to hear what you guys think about it, man. But with no further ado, I guess we can get into the main topics, if you will. And we're gonna start off with the Northman, man. Robert Eggers' latest thriller, revenge thriller, I guess you could say, starring what's his name? I'm forgetting his name. What's his name? Peter Skarsgård as Amalith, I believe is his name. I think that's right. And then you got Anya Taylor-Joy as his love interest, Olga. You got Ethan Hawke playing his father, Nicole Kidman playing his mother, and a really great actor playing his uncle. And I do not remember the man's name right now, but he was awesome. And I gotta say, without beating around the bush, AC/DC style, you know what I'm saying, I enjoyed this movie quite a fucking bit, man. I have to say, this might even be my favorite Robert Eggers film of the 3 films he's written and directed so far. Man, when it comes to the morality and the reality and the truth and the brutality of the Vikings in this film and the way he portrays what goes on between the violence and the lore and the and all the different traditions and what's the word? God damn, what is rituals that they go under? God damn, brain farts today. The rituals that they go through and all this stuff, man, so authentic and real to Norse mythology and Viking culture, man, and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And the acting in this thing is fucking awesome, dude. Every actor brings it. You got Willem Dafoe popping in there for a quick second. Ethan Hawke isn't in this thing for too long because obviously he's the one that gets got and starts off the whole revenge path that Amalith, aka Peter Skarsgård, is going on throughout the whole film. It is just spectacular getting to see these actors really sink their teeth into these roles and really go back into, you know, whatever century that was, because I'm not a big history buff like that. And man, it was just such a well done film, dude. Like, the action doesn't pull any punches. This might be the goriest film he's done. And how in the hell would you think that when this isn't even a straight up horror flick? But don't forget the horror vibes, baby. And this movie is full of it. It ain't a horror movie through and through, but it definitely has those horror vibes where it calls for it, man. The tension and the suspense is there, man. And even though some of the characters do some questionable things, especially the main character, man, and not necessarily rooting for him in the same cliche way, other films will make you root for the main protagonist in these revenge thriller type films, regardless of the period that they're set in. it was really cool to get to kind of have these characters that really exist in that gray area of what's right and what's wrong and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And depending on the circumstance and the perspective of what is actually going on versus what you're seeing, really just mind fucks you, man. Like the whole twist reveal, in a sense, of Nicole Kidman's mother teaming up with the uncle and leaving the uncle, his father, the king, and betraying him for the uncle and having the uncle kill him to take the throne. Excuse me. God damn, man, shit is crazy. I didn't even see that coming, man. Like, god damn, man, like this movie is so freaking cool. And overall, the score and the music is well made, is awesome as well, and really gets those epic vibes going when you need them in those intense moments. But even those more kind of vulnerable moments, the music does really well at kind of just playing to the scene without being overbearing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a pretty big score and soundtracks guy, so I love throwing shout outs to that. And the cinematography for this fucking movie, god damn. Every freaking scene and image and shot of this movie is poster painting worthy, man. I'm telling you, get it on your wallpaper today. This shit is awesome, man. You might see one hanging up in this studio at some point. I tell you, man. Beautiful shots. You've seen the trailer. You know what I'm talking about. Woo! Robert Eggers, man. He always gets great cinematographers to do his stuff. I don't know if it's been the same or different people, but whoever did this movie, goddamn, get him an Oscar right now, damn it. But, woo, man, I gotta say, man, and I don't really have too many negatives for this flick. I gotta be honest, man. Overall, I would say that one of my only negatives of the film is I just think it's a little bit too long. You know what I'm saying? If you would shave off like 15 minutes of this movie, I'm telling you, you'd have been moving at a perfect clip just under 2 hours. But for the most part, man, I was pretty damn invested in what was going on and getting to see if Amalith is going to get his revenge or whatever the character's name is. But I was waiting to see if Skarsgård was going to get his revenge and, win the day. And if it was going to go that kind of route, was it going to be a sad or tragic ending? And it pretty much is, because him and the uncle kill each other. You know what I'm saying? He beheads or chops off the uncle's head while the uncle stabs him through the chest at the same time when they're having their final battle at the end of the film. And bam, there he goes. R.I.P. to both of them. And I gotta say, man, overall, it just took a little too long in the third act to kind of get to the climax. You know what I'm saying? And man, is there really any other negatives to this? One thing too, it's so intense. I wouldn't necessarily rewatch it on a regular basis, but this would definitely be a flick I would watch every other like year or two for sure, and definitely would want to show certain people that are into these kind of like epic period piece or just revenge thrillers or just stuff like that. Like my buddy Drew, man, one of the fellow co-hosts of the show, man, y'all done seen him before. If you've been tuning in, you've heard or seen him, and he would absolutely dig this flick, man, for sure. You know what I'm saying? I think C-Dub would probably dig this movie, man. I don't know if Lando or Skippy would, but we could find out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, it's a really, really well done movie, man. I gotta say, I highly recommend this movie. Know who you are, know your taste. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like slower paced movies, if you want more heavy action and stuff like that, this might not be the film for you. But if you know Robert Eggers' vision, his style of filmmaking and all that stuff, you're into it. You want to have a little bit of a slower paced, but still delivering on the action, really intense thriller that doesn't play up to the Hollywood cliches. This movie is definitely for you, man. I'm going to give it a straight up 8 out of 10. Very solid, awesome, or I wouldn't even say solid, very good ass movie, man. And I think it's my favorite Robert Eggers movie, man. But what say you? Let me know what you think about it. Hit us up on the social medias, man, at fandom_frequency on the IG, at fan_frequency on Twitter. Hit us up. Let us know what you think about the film, man. And moving right along here, let's get into Everything Everywhere All at Once. EEAAO, baby. Everything Everywhere All at Once. The Multiverse A24 mindfuck was awesome. I love this fucking movie, man. This film is fucking incredible from top to bottom. starring the great Michelle Yeoh, playing this character. I forget the character's name, but the character owns a swap meet with her family. She's kind of over her husband a bit, just kind of not really feeling life. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of in a very redundant, very um uh stagnant place in life. And she's having financial issues, having to get audited by the IRS by this auditor played by Jamie Lee Curtis. You know what I mean? The legend herself. And goddamn, man, it's just so damn relatable getting into the setup of what's going on. And then her husband ends up being the whole key to this multiverse mindfuck that is this movie, man. And I gotta say, getting to see um, the great actor um, who did play Short Round back in the Indiana Jones Temple of Doom days. You know what I'm saying? I can't remember this man's name right now, but he was fucking awesome. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone, man, because I got to get this damn name. This guy was awesome. Made his big return to film after a while, and I gotta say he delivered, man. And he's the one that brings his wife. The hell's her name, man? I gotta get this information here, man. God damn. Let's see here. Michelle Yeoh played Evelyn, and then Q. Oh man, I'm gonna butcher his name so bad. I'm gonna go with Waymond because that was his name in the movie. But yes, the man that played Short Round as a kid, who plays Waymond Wang, Evelyn Kwan Wang's husband, and their daughter played by Stephanie Sue, Joy Wang. Man, the whole reveal of her character being the great evil that is fucking up the multiverse as we speak, based off an experiment that a variant version of Evelyn did, where she created the multiverse theory from her father's original hypothesis, and from there pushed her daughter. She had the ability to, because the way that they travel the multiverse in this film is they have these like things that look almost like those old school like Bluetooth headset kind of things that all of our dads used to wear and shit. And when they click the buttons on the two earpieces, and it sends a neural link to their alternate version self in whatever reality they need a certain skill set from. So she'll connect to an Evelyn in a different reality similar to her real life actress self, Michelle Yeoh, who knows Kung Fu, who's an action star, and she'll use this neural link to get to this alternate version of herself to get these different abilities to fight against this great evil that she inadvertently created due to the fact that she pushed her daughter Joy in that universe too far in the experiments and kind of cracked her brain a little bit because she did too much too fast. And if you go a little too crazy with it, you will fuck yourself up mentally. And she does that to her daughter, and then her daughter essentially can control the space and the area around her and create whatever she wants from the multiverse. You know what I'm saying? So it's like some crazy America Chavez times 10 type shit going on in this thing. And Evelyn is tasked by her husband Raymond to go out as the special one, as kind of the chosen one, a la Neo, a la Luke Skywalker, a la Paul Atreides, to go out and defeat this great evil that is her daughter from another universe. And I gotta say, man, shit hits the fan, shit gets crazy. And the editing in this movie, when they're going from different multiverses, different when the daughter is manipulating her powers to pull up different devices and different clothing and different things from different universes, man, the editing is seamless. Like, this movie's editing is fucking amazing. It's the best editing I've ever seen in any movie, period. It is so creative. It is so on point. Whenever they switch from different universe to different universe to different universe, it is seamless. It doesn't even seem like someone's editing a movie. You know what I mean? It's like this crazy, abstract, surreal, but very easy to follow experience, man. I absolutely love this flick, man. And Jamie Lee Curtis was in there as this character, Deidre, I think. And she's the auditor in this universe for Evelyn's business. But in the multiverse, she's tasked to work with, the alternate version of herself works with Joy to go around to take out Evelyn in all the different universes, so that way they can't stop her from creating this donut, as she calls it, of nothingness, of everything from the multiverse plunged together into this black hole type space in this weird little pocket dimension she created for herself. Man, I'm telling you, man, the more I start talking about this movie, it just blows my mind, man. It is so well acted, so well choreographed, so well shot and edited. This is one of the dopest A24 films, hands down. This is one of the coolest, most unique movies I've ever seen in my life, man. I ain't saying necessarily the best movie I've seen in my life, per se, but it is one of the dopest movies I've seen in at least 10 years, for sure. And it is one of the most unique and coolest experiences I had going to see a movie in my life, for real. I went and saw the Solo Dolo a couple weeks ago, man, on one of my days off where I just had some extra time. So I said, fuck it, I'm gonna go check out this movie because I want to see it. It is so fucking cool, man. And even though this is a spoiler review, I don't want to spoil every little detail because I do want you to experience it for yourself a bit. But I just wanted to set up what characters are kind of doing what so you get an idea of the story as crazy as it is. So you kind of get a little bit of a firmer understanding when you go into seeing it. It is such an incredible thrill ride, man. I really, really dug the movie, dude. And just the acting, especially from Stephanie Sue, fucking top notch. And my man, Quan, which is his last name, that played Waymond, he was fucking awesome. And Michelle Yeoh was great too. No duh. She always delivers a very solid, if not great, performance in everything I see her in. And man, and it's so funny and bizarre at the same fucking time, dude. You'll have a dildo shoved up somebody's ass while they're kicking and trying to fight somebody kung fu style. Like, it's so hilarious. I'm like literally laughing my ass off while some dude's got a dildo shoved up his ass while he's trying to fight Michelle Yeoh. And I'm like, the fighting's so cool, but I can't pay attention because I'm laughing so hard because, like, what the fuck is this, man? In the best way, dude. Like, this is everything about A24 and experimental indie films done right. You know what I'm saying? I really, really love this movie, man. And overall, the only negative I really have for this movie is I thought the ending chapter was a little bit, or like going from the second to the third act, they almost lost me for a minute and kind of confused me, but then I got right back on track with what they were doing and saw what was going on. But they did almost lose me for a minute. So I will say this is a movie you definitely can't just put on in the background unless you've already seen it. You need to sit down and take in every single little detail and pay attention to everything, every line of dialogue, all of it. Because they're putting a lot of exposition out there and they are dumping a hell of a lot of it on you. So make sure your eyes and ears are open and paying attention, because I'm telling you, man, you got to really pay close attention to this thing. And it's not a negative, just something of a mixed element that some people need to keep in mind when going in to see it. So just kind of know your taste and know what you like to watch. You know what I'm saying? Don't go into this expecting Shang-Chi too. It's not that. The fighting's on the level of that, if not, I would say 10, like twice as good. But it's John Wick level time and then some. But overall, it is such an awesome movie, man. I don't even know what to categorize this movie as. Drama, sci-fi, comedy, whatever you want to call it. It's fucking kick-ass. The Daniels knocked it out of the park, and I'm glad they turned down Loki Season 2 to do this, because this was much more worth it. I hope someone gets them into some big stuff like that, Marvel-type stuff, if we could really get something unique, you know? Throw them over there in DC. They like to get experimental, you know what I'm saying? So, overall, this movie is a fucking 9 out of 10. I love this movie, man. It is one of the best movies I have seen this year, hands down. I don't see it getting knocked out of that top 3 or 5, man. I really don't by the end of the year. But I want to hear from y'all, man. Hit me up in the social media pages, man. Tweet us. Hit us up on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? I want to know what you thought about this film. Everything, everywhere, all at once. I want to know what you thought about it. Drop a... or no drop, but go over there to our YouTube page, man, and type in Fandom Frequency, click subscribe, click a like on one of the videos you want to check out, man, and click the share button and share us around with your friends, family, and coworkers, man. We're trying to grow the community every day, any way we can, and we just love connecting with y'all and nerding out about all this pop culture goodness, man. And make sure you bump some Foo Fighters, man. I don't care if you like rock or not. Bump some Foo Fighters. I guarantee it's going to brighten your day. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Taylor Hawkins. Much love to all of you out there, man. And make sure you click download on this episode, man. You guys have been showing so much great support on the podcast network. We appreciate the hell out of you. And that is going to do it for us here today. Solo Dolo, it's your boy Kenny, bringing you guys the 12th episode of the Fandom Frequency Show. Won't be over there in the YouTubes, man, so make sure you stay tuned on this podcast feed for more dope stuff like this. So until next time, guys, stay tuned, don't sleep, much love, and I'll catch you on the flip side, y'all. Peace.